Good afternoon, fellow graduates, beloved family, dear friends, cherished alumni, and esteemed faculty. It's an honor to welcome you on a day of a great celebration. The graduates, we have made amazing discoveries within ourselves while at Michigan State University. Think back to the night before your first day at MSU. Do you remember bringing your school supplies in your backpack, getting your outfit ready, and setting the alarm? Do you recall the next morning walking with the schedule and university map open on your phone? Did you make new friends in your classes and introduce yourself to the professors? I was wearing a gift from my sister, an old dress, which made the first day at college extra special to me. Although we might have had a similar start being lost on this beautiful and massive campus, each one of us has a special and unique story. Our lives and opportunities were shaped by our genetics, the environment, and distinct circumstances we all lived in while growing up. Like many others, coming from a single parent home, my mother did everything to give us the best possible life she could. Before she survived a heart attack a few years ago, she would sell homemade food to provide us with anything, especially if we do well in our classes. She raised us to appreciate that education is very valuable and powerful. To my mother, I wouldn't have been here today without you, and I promise I will always be there for you. So that my mother can understand it. إلى جنة أمي ومن فضلها أصبحت الشخص الذي أنا هنا عليه اليوم أريدك أن أبقى لك دوما. To my fellow graduates, look at where we are now. We made it through every difficulty life put in our way, and each one of us is the hero of our own story. I couldn't be more proud of each and every one of us today. Life is like a book, and in this chapter, education was the line waiting to be written. Education is one of the greatest gifts we could ever receive. It's the catalyst to convert information to knowledge, but the path wasn't easy. The courses we took tested us in ways we did not anticipate. They challenged us to be adaptable, innovative, analytical thinkers, and problem solvers. Within this learning experience, we also had to make time for work, life, and fun. There were many days when we skipped meals and precious sleeping hours to do homework, work on a design a project, or study for an exam. Through these tough times, we learned integrity, endurance, and resilience. Working with diverse students on team projects enriched us with new perspectives and opened our eyes to new ways of thinking. This encouraged us to reevaluate our beliefs and values, recognize and embrace our true identities, and discover the importance of respect, equity, and inclusion. College was blended with some of the most difficult times of our lives. The chaos of COVID-19 pandemic was definitely not how we imagined our last semester would be. It was cut short, we couldn't memorialize many things, and we even lost the normalcy of life. However, power and growth could come from these times of struggle. The quarantine is a moment of stark realization, to rethink the implications of our actions, to reconsider our life priorities and what really matters. We're learning we're all connected, and we should perceive the humanity in a vastly different way. Through love, I hope we will transfer our fears to emerge from this pandemic smarter and wiser. Moreover, we can heal from it in creative ways to make a wide range of resources more accessible to everyone. This pandemic created long periods of unstructured time with uncertainty, which brought me back to my memories of last year of high school. My sister and I were talking about how chemical engineering would fit into my career aspirations. Later that evening, we went to pray at the mosque where a sudden deadly assault with a gunman occurred, and my sister lost her life in the attack. My sister, who was a medical student, had plenty of noble goals. She devoted her life to healing the pains of people. She would have been on the front line fighting the COVID-19 pandemic if she didn't become a victim of the treacherous unfairness of humanity. I didn't know how to let go of my inner turmoil and take my life back. Where I once saw a happy, shining future, all I saw afterwards was darkness. I was very scared about how this devastation will change me. Between my fears and hesitation, I made the decision to travel alone, thousands of miles away from home for the first time, to come to my now second home, MSU. I'm standing here today even though this very deep wound is still open, and I have had days when grief and depression hit me harder than I know they could. Nevertheless, I believed in myself as a Spartan who should never accept defeat, and I fought back stronger. I showed up to my morning labs, took notes, participated in lectures, and asked questions. I stayed around the special people I met who endlessly encouraged and supported me. I called my mother every day and told her I was okay. I just knew I couldn't let my sister down and that education is going to be the weapon against the terrorism that killed her. The most shocking moment of my life has also become my ultimate source of inspiration. The thought of being an engineer who possesses the ability to help advance healthcare and defense brought me a great deal of hope when I needed it most. It lends to my life the feeling that my efforts have been focused on improving the lives of those I share the world with. I found MSU as a welcoming and research-focused institution to be the platform where I could ignite my inner creativity and reach my fullest potential every day. And that's why I chose to come here. MSU has been a transformative experience that has energized many of our future goals. No matter our life journey, we made it to graduation today and our story propels us forward. This is a big achievement and I am proud of everyone. As we reflect on our past and present, it's also imperative to stay positive and think about what the future holds for us. Being technology natives to what was once considered science fiction, we are a lucky generation. It's expected from us as engineers to take the technology of today to new dimensions, bringing solutions to the world's most serious problems. Equipped with the skills and knowledge we have attained at the College of Engineering, we can tackle the next chapter in our lives together, whether you're going into the workforce or graduate school or a completely different route. None of us know the direction in which life will ultimately take us. But I'm sure if we continue to be enthusiastic about our vision and goals, we will find the way. As a human beings, this may not be consistently smooth since the world is unpredictable and is not always kind or safe. Yet, our education has prepared us for the challenges and opportunities of the future. We will continue to learn to endure and withstand hardships. We are destined to come together despite our differences to overcome obstacles. Spartans are intellectual leaders and sparks for change. Hold on the lessons you have learned in classes and beyond at MSU and build on that foundation to leave the world a better place than you found it. The difference you make in the lives of others will not only define who you are, but it will also optimize our Spartans well. You are capable of anything, and you can innovate the world in ways we now think could only exist in the imagination. Class of 2020, congratulations.